Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a triple rib stitch on the KnitUK S-Loom. Now as you can see, my loom has all the pegs in it. Ignore the ones that are already marked, that's for different things. Now what we're going to do is we got to mark what pegs that we skip for this pattern, which I've got a second loom back here. It's already started. I actually took those pegs out just to make it a little easier for me. Alright, let me zoom in here some. Now, these looms do not have a peg 1 marked. So what I am doing is, on this back side, you'll see it goes straight, and then you got your first one that curves. Those first 3 I'm removing. This peg right here is what I'm calling peg 1. So these 3 on both sides are taken out, skipped, and completely forgot about. You don't use them at all with this pattern. Now I'm going to go over peg numbers that you can either mark or remove to do this pattern. Okay, so this is peg 1, so peg 13, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Peg 13, 17, 24, 28, 32, and 33. Okay, Dexter, you gotta move. 37 and 38, 42 and 43, 47, and then you got 57 and 64. You flip it to the other side, and then these 3 are already out, so this is number 1, and again you got 13, 24, 28, 32, 33. Here, I'll show you on this one because they're already out. So we got 13, 17, of course, 24, 28, 32, 33. Buddy, you gotta move. He loves this blanket. 37, 38, 42, 43, 47, 57, and 64. Okay, now we got this opposite side. Of course, those 3 are gone. We got 13, 17, 24, 28, 32, 33, 37, 38, 42, 43, 47, 57, 64. That's the same as the other side. The only difference is this side you have 2 more pegs marked. 70 and 74. That's the only difference. On one side it doesn't matter because the pegs are the same, but just so this stitch turns out correctly, on one side as you're counting, peg 70 and 74 is marked, removed, or whatever you need to do. The way you do the triple rib stitch is you get a little slip knot and you stick on. Okay. On the pegs. Now the triple ribbed is you're just doing your E-wrap. You're going to E-wrap 3 pegs. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll go up here and E-wrap 3. Go down here and E-wrap 3. And this is all you do. Now when you come to your marked pegs or your removed pegs, you completely skip them. For this entire project, you're going to act like those pegs do not exist. So if you invert it, like this one right here, this right here would be our first peg that we would come to. So what you would do is, of course, that you're on your 3rd. If it doesn't add up and you're in the middle of 3 that you're E-wrapping, then you're off somewhere. So we would E-wrap the 3 up here. skip that one, and E-wrap these ones. The reason we skip the pegs is because if we don't skip them, then that would have been here and it would have been going like that. It would have been here and it would have been going like that, and then it's going to mess the whole thing up. And the gauge is the same all the way around this loom, so the pegs on the outside of the curves, there will be more pegs on the outside than the inside, so you got to take some of those out to make everything even. So we would E-wrap, and then this one is one of the marked ones. I just don't have it marked on that one. You just make sure you do 3. Now there are a couple places where you skip 2, but those will even out and look just fine because you're doing it on both sides. So just like I did, you do that stitch all the way around till you get to the other side. Now what I have done, which this is optional, you do that first row, which I'll give you like an example. Do this first row all the way around to your opposite side. Then take a piece of contrasting yarn and place down over top those stitches all the way around. So it would be going, let's see, I got that done. It would be going inside this all the way around to the other side. You'll take your ends and kind of pull them down through this just so they're out of the way. And what I did was once I knotted them. Typically with stuff like that you would just tie the two together, but this is a big paneled blanket, so I just knotted them to keep them separate. And what this does is this pulls out that first row of stitches. So at the end, if you want to just leave them as is, you can, or you can crochet this edge to help match the cast off edge. Now right here is what this stitch will look like. If you want, as you can see, I've inverted it right here, which when you say invert, it just means do the opposite. If you do that, I inverted it and did 5 rows, switched it back, you'll get these little circle type shapes in it. Now doing the invert stitch on the loom like this, with a triple rib stitch, it's a little more difficult, just because with a double rib stitch you just have 2 pegs, so you're just moving them over one so that it'll be opposite. With this one, I'm still just moving it over one, but you'll have, it's not quite as symmetrical, but when the blanket is done, you don't notice it at all. There you go. And you just keep doing the stitches. You can either do just a triple rib stitch for the entire blanket. Every once in a while you could switch them. You could switch your collars, which when I switch and invert mine, I'm switching it to a different collar, just so I can have like that stripes in it and a little bit of a variation to it. And then when you're done, when I get to the cast off point, I will show you how to do the cast off.